You know, he's amazing. He's so talented. And Rick has performed for us many, many times throughout the, last 7 years. And Rick is coming back. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I know that you're coming back in the spring. I don't have it.
Yep.
Date, yeah. So Rick is so talented. This is as if you bought tickets to a concert at the Symphony Hall. You have front row seats because he's that talented. So you will not be you will love him. You will love him. So let's get started, Rick.
Hey, all right.
Rick Scalise, thank you.
Right. Awesome. Hey, yeah, it's great to see everyone. And yeah, as always, I like to start off with some actually non-piano music. This is something I improvise on by Strauss Jr. And Tales from the Vienna Woods, originally for orchestra.
Rick? Rick?
Yes, yes.
Hi, we heard a little, I don't know if other people heard it, a little bit of an issue with the connection.
Oh, okay. Oh, was I freezing or?
Sean, can you help and explain to him
It
better?
sounded, Rick, have you ever had like almost like a lag where things just kind of get a little like staticky and just
Yeah.
unclear, you know, a little cloudy kind of in the reception essentially?
Oh, yeah, right, right.
But it ironed itself out. It was just something we wanted to know. If it continued again, it may be worthwhile to, you know, disconnect and
Yeah.
reconnect the mic or like mute and unmute or something. But we could always try another song and see if it's sorted out.
Yeah, and maybe because that one was kind of loud. Maybe the volume.
Okay, let's give it a try. I think keep going for now, and we'll let you know after the next performance.
Yeah, I remember there was something on my end like a few weeks ago, but I had a thing. It popped up, you know, internet connection,
Mhm.
poor signal. But
Okay.
I haven't gotten that lately. But,
Right now we're hearing you okay, so I think we'll keep going, but it's just something to keep in the back of our mind, I think.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. We'll test it out with here's something slower and softer. This is Chopin, and a great nocturne by Chopin. He wrote this when he was only 21, and it's Nocturne number 2. And a nocturne's a night work, something that evokes the night, and pretty famous. I think everyone will recognize it with the first 4 notes.
That was excellent. We heard everything.
Oh, okay,
Very,
great.
very well. Thank you.
All right, good. No freezing and
No, that was good.
all right. Maybe maybe that's something.
Yeah, it could be a sound distortion at high levels or something. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, like
that was great.
I'm keeping. I got my speakers over here. That's where the sound's coming out. So maybe if it gets too bright towards the webcam.
No problem. Yeah, little things like that do happen on Zoom. So
Yeah. All right. So that was Chopin, and next here's some light Broadway, which I also love, and I think everyone will obviously recognize all these. These are some great classics. This is Getting to Know You by Rodgers and Hammerstein, 1951. Getting to Know You from The King and I, 1951. All right, that's a little bit of Rodgers and Hammerstein. The King and I from, I'm sorry, Getting to Know You from The King and I. And I'll come back to some more light Broadway, which everyone will know and love. Here's something by the great Beethoven, Für Elise, or in German, it's Für Elise. And he wrote this when he was about half deaf at the age of 41 years old, and wrote it for a student of his her real name was Teresa, and his pet name for her was Eliza. So it's very well known. Again, very recognizable. The first two notes, you'll know it. If anyone took piano lessons there, you probably had to learn Für Elise or Für Elise. And so personally, I think I learned this when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and always loved it since then. And again, it's a song you'll recognize in two notes. That's of course Für Elise, or Für Elise in German there, by the great Beethoven. And I forgot to mention that's what's called a rondo. So in music, rondo is a form of music where what you hear in the opening keeps coming back over and over again. So that's a very famous rondo by the great Beethoven. This is actually next a wonderful piece where you can see my hands. I made sure that, you know, people can see the hands. It's more exciting than looking at my face. So this is a cool piece. If you can see the thumbs go back and forth. So it's a little exercise for the thumbs. And at the same time, it's a really beautiful piece to listen to. And it's by the Russian composer Anton Rubinstein. So no relation to the great concert pianist Artur Rubinstein. This is Anton, and actually two of his most famous students were Tchaikovsky and Rimsky-Korsakov. But this piece is known as a love song called Welcome Sweet Springtime. It was turned into a love song many years after his death. So again, it's an exercise for the thumbs. And at the same time, it's a beautiful piece to be played in concert. And it's called Melody in F. Anton Rubinstein, also known as Welcome Sweet Springtime. Little exercise for the thumbs. Right. Okay, that's some good stuff there. That's Anton Rubinstein, and he founded a conservatory of music which is still in existence in Russia. It's either Moscow or St. Petersburg. Anyway, he had a brother, Nikolai Rubinstein, and the two brothers founded their own music schools, which are still in existence. Anyway, that's a wonderful piece called Melody in F, a little exercise for the thumbs. And at the same time, beautiful melody to listen to there. Turned into a love song, Welcome Sweet Springtime. many years after he died, turned into a love song. All right, so actually that's a good segue going back to some light Broadway. These are some actual songs. And here is one of my all-time favorites. It's from another Rodgers and Hammerstein production, Carousel. I think that was at the end of, it premiered at the end of the war, sometime in the fall of 1945. And it's my favorite song ever from that show, If I Loved You. And it's actually modeled in the style of Puccini. So it has that Italian operatic flavor to it. And if you like to sing, you can, those are two things I won't do. I'm not going to sing, I'm not going to dance, but you know, everyone can, at home, you can all sing. In the meantime, I'll sing through my fingers. And this is If I Loved You from 1945, Carousel, Rodgers and Hammerstein. All right, thank you, thank you. So that's one of my personal favorites there by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Again, that song is modeled, If I Loved You, that song is modeled in the style of Puccini. So it has a very operatic.
You want me to make some pudding for dessert tonight?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So next I have, I love, as you can tell, you know, every program that I do, I always include some sort of waltz. It's usually Johann Strauss Jr., but this is a Polish composer, Ivan Ivanovich, and it's called Waves of the Danube. It's from the turn of last century. Again, it's for full orchestra, and I kind of improvise on the piano here. But the main theme at the very beginning that you hear is super, super famous. It was turned into the anniversary waltz. So this is where that wonderful song, the anniversary waltz, comes from this piece called Waves of the Danube by Ivana Vici, and for full orchestra. So I'm going to lower my volume so I don't freeze. All right. Waves of the Danube by the Polish composer Ivana Vici, mostly associated with the song The Anniversary Waltz, which you'll recognize toward the beginning.
beautiful, Rick. I have a question.
Oh, yes, yes.
Is that part of it sounds like the song Tumbala Laika?
Is that the anniversary waltz?
I don't know. I just know like part of it goes Tumbala, Tumbala, Tumbala Laika. And it
Oh.
sounds like some of it is in that waltz.
Okay, well, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, they people after he died probably extracted
Ah,
more melodies. I'm not familiar with that song, but
Okay.
yeah, yeah, that could be.
it's beautiful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's called Waves of the Danube by Ivana Vici. Kind of a lesser. He was a one hit wonder with that because of the anniversary waltz came from it, and I guess that tuba Laika that must also come from it. Okay. So again, I'm always a fan of an eclectic mix of music, light classical like that, and light Broadway, and everything in between. So going back to some vocal music, I didn't play any Lerner and Lowe, another great American duo. So one of their greatest shows, My Fair Lady, and I could play a couple from that show. It's nice, you can tap your toes and sing along and everything. So this is the opening of Act 2 of My Fair Lady from 1956. Lerner and Lowe. The opening of the second half is On the Street Where You Live.
Beautiful, Rick. I just wanted, before you continue, there was a little static when you first started the song. So I just.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Good to
Sean.
know.
I heard it as well. Again, I don't know if this is something we can fix. It's just something to keep in mind, and it seems to ultimately sort itself out.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just something I think we might have to deal with right now.
Yeah, maybe it's distortion from my keyboard. But yeah, I lowered it a smidge.
Okay.
And we'll try one more from My Fair Lady. This also has some pizzazz to it. I Could Have Danced All Night. Of course, very, very well known. Probably the biggest hit from My Fair Lady. I Could Have Danced All Night.
And if we were at the temple, I just know that I'm looking at one person, Fred, for sure would have gotten up and grabbed a few people to dance. So
Oh, there you go.
thinking of you, Fred, because I know that you loved doing that at the temple, waltzing around when Rick was playing. So
Yeah,
we'll think good thoughts, and hopefully when we get back to the temple, we'll do that again.
that's right. That's right. I think I remember that last time. I remember that I think there was some dancing going on. Okay, that's of course I could have danced all night from My Fair Lady. And actually, since I have my big Broadway book here opened up, I'll sneak in another great classic, which again, I hope people are singing along to. Here, oh, yes, flipping open to this one. People Will Say We're in Love. It's going back to Rodgers and Hammerstein during the war, 1943. Awesome show, awesome song. People Will Say We're in Love. All right. That is, of course, People Will Say We're in Love from Oklahoma, 1943. And so far, we've had several waltzes, some light Broadway music. Actually, technically, the light classical was music from the Romantic period, which is the mid to late 1800s. And this is something here to cleanse the palate. And it's one of my personal favorites from France during that time, toward the end of the century, the end of the 19th century. And in France, that was called the Impressionistic period. And there's some great artists during that time, Monet, Manet, Seurat, a few others I can't think of, Van Gogh maybe, I don't know. Musically, it kind of went hand in hand with the artwork. Artwork at that time, very watery, very colorful. And the music kind of sounded the way artwork looked. So this is one of my personal favorites from that time period, the late 19th century. This is Debussy, and it's a great piece. Another one that you'll know from the first two notes, Clair de Lune, which is the moonlight. And you can kind of picture your own, painting in your mind or scenario, the moonlight. So this is very typical of French impressionistic music that kind of went along with the artwork at that time. And again, Mr. Debussy, this is from 1890, so right at the peak of Impressionism. And the moonlight, Clair de Lune. Okay, thank you, thank you. That is Claire de Lune, French for The Moonlight. And that's from the peak of the French Impressionistic period. One of my all-time favorite French composers, Debussy. Okay, and again, that's from back in the day, 1890. All right, let's see. Actually, I lost track of time, but we have, I guess, I think we have time for a few more.
Yeah,
think.
it's a few minutes before 2, so maybe 1 or 2 more would be great.
Sure, sure. So here's a little something by Mozart. I haven't played anything that's truly classical yet. So this is from the peak of the classical period, Mozart, and it's known as the Turkish March. I guess officially it's called the Rondo alla Turca. Earlier there was that Beethoven Rondo. So again, what you hear in the opening, you'll hear repeatedly. And it's another one, you'll know it from the first, handful of notes. Mozart. And he wrote this late in life, around the age of 31 years old. And he died very young at 35. So it's a late work. And Rondo alla Turca, or also known as the Turkish March. Okay, thank you. That's Mozart Rondo alla Turca, also nicknamed the Turkish March. Mozart, again, written later in life. Normally I like to talk a little bit more about these. I'm trying to squeeze in a lot of composers within the hour, but you could spend, hours, days, just, researching all these guys and their lives and what they did. So especially Mozart, but wrote that late in life. And Turkish March, Rondo alla Turca. So I thought, I could sneak in another, this is a little short little piece here.
It's 2 o'clock, so if you can sneak in another short one, we would love it as an.
I'm happy to hold the session open for a few more minutes. We got a later start, so certainly I think it'd be worth it to do another song.
That would be great. 1 more is perfect.
Oh, okay, yep. And I'll keep it kind of low so it doesn't cut out. And
Wonderful.
yeah, so this is it's actually for violin and orchestra. And I obviously don't play the violin, so I play the violin part in my right hand, and then my left hand is the orchestra. And it's called Chardosh. At Temple Emmanuel, I for L'Chaim, I usually end with this. It's got a lot of pizzazz. So it's by an Italian, Vittorio Monti, and it's my little arrangement that I did several years ago. He was a one-hit wonder, and this is what he's known for. Csardas. It's a Hungarian dance for violin and orchestra, and little arrangement here. My right hand is the violin.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rick. Rick Scalise is just wonderful. I'm glad you were able to join us. Rick will be back January 26th, which is a Tuesday for L'chaim, but you'll all get the January calendar. Thank you,
Okay.
Rick, so much.
Bravo, Rick. Thank you for playing so many familiar tunes so well and so quickly.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
fingers really dance over the keys. Thanks a lot.
That's-
Bye-bye.
that's Judy
Thanks a
Gonzalez.
lot. It was
Thank you, bye.
wonderful listening to it.
Thank
Great,
you. Thank you. I
great.
try to play only the good songs.
Yeah. That's what we need, something peppy and that makes us feel good. Thank you, Rick.
Right.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank
Hi,
you, Rick.
Laura.
It was wonderful.
Bye, Yael.
We do not have L'chaim next Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving. There is no L'chaim, and then we're back Tuesday, December 1st with Lisa Eves with the music of Carole King. And Rick will be joining us again in January. Rick, it's wonderful to see you. Happy holidays to you and to your mom, and hope all is well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
And thank you, Sean.
And thank you, Sean, as well.
Oh, yeah, Sean, awesome.
My pleasure. Thank you. No, this was fantastic. Thank you so much, Rick.
Thank you so much.
Good
Good
stuff.
seeing everybody. Hi, Yvette. I don't see your face.